Jared Pond and the Guane Shaman. The casino was dazzling with anticipation as I faced off against my opponent, Shai Hong B. I was playing poker at the Crown Casino in Sydney one evening. I contained my glee, but my nerves were also on high alert. I held the 2 and 7 of suit, and the table showed 2, 5, 7, 2, and K. This seemed like a winning hand, but I could still lose, and with the large sums in play, a loss would be disastrous for me, and would force me to play at smaller venues for a long time to build up a bankroll. I played against Shai Hong B, a former Columnist Party official who had escaped to Australia after the fall of the Columnist Party.
I raise you 100,000, Mr. Pond. Prepare to face justice for your crimes against our nation,
Shai Hong stated and gave me a death stare. Miss B, I will call you. Prepare to lose $100,000, I said, smirked, and put in the poker markers.
Players, show your cards.
The dealer instructed, and Shai Hong showed her hand. 2 and 5 of hearts.
Miss B, full house. 5s over 2s.
The dealer stated.
I got you now, Guilo,
Shai Hong hissed. No, you don't, I replied and showed my hand.
Full house, 7s over 2s. Mr. Pond wins,
the dealer said.
Ah, you lucky Australian bastard! Why would you ever play such a weak hand to start with?
Shai Hong hissed. To beat you, of course. I just took you for $100,000. Good night, Miss B, I said, winked, and grabbed my chips and left the table. I went to the cashier, deposited my chips, and walked up to the bar. It was time to drink some hard liquor and calm my nerves. I had pretended to be cool at the poker table earlier, but I had been shitting bricks. $100,000 was a lot of money for me, particularly since I was no longer a field agent for Raki. After stopping the villainous Jingxi, I had finally reached the fame I had always wanted, although not for the reason I wanted. I was famous for being the spouse of President Eileen Liu of China. When our relationship broke down, I had tried to regain my employment with Raki, but they had turned me down, as I was too well known to be a viable field agent. Oh well, with our fresh $100,000 in the bank, it was time to find some female companionship for the cold and lonely night. I saw a cute brunette and walked over to introduce myself. The name is Pond. Jared Pond, I said with my most suave voice, like I'd done so many times in the past.
I know your name. Everyone at the casino knows your name. I heard that the Pond train has derailed and is no longer reaching its destinations. Goodbye, Jared,
the brunette replied. I walked away from the brunette in confusion. That was weird. Even though not every woman in the world falls for my charm, they never brush me off like that. Besides, what did she mean with the Pond train has derailed? The train was still operational and on schedule. I brushed off the interaction with the brunette. There was something wrong with her, and I shouldn't let her strange behavior ruin my night. I walked up to a group of Lebanese women for a second attempt at scoring. I hadn't had Middle Eastern cuisine since my tryst with Princess Amani 5 years earlier, and it was a cuisine I was keen to revisit. Before I had the chance to introduce myself, one of the girls exclaimed,
Look, it's Jared Pond, the smallest dick Australia has ever seen.
Hearing this, the whole group giggled. What was going on? The answer to my conundrum appeared when I searched for my name online. The top match was an article from Girly Gossip magazine with the headline, Jared Pond, the worst lover Australia has ever seen. I had a terrible flashback. A few weeks earlier, a rival had spiked my drink with a chemical castration drug, and I had ended up in the hospital. Had I somehow picked up a journalist from a gossip magazine to hook up with in that drugged state? If that were the case, would this incident destroy my reputation as a peerless lover? I saw a link that stated, pay for X-rated content. After using my credit card to pay for access, I realized the terrible truth. I had been set up and photographed naked with my tiny and very flaccid penis due to the effects of the drug. Bloody chemical castration drugs. There was only one thing to do. I needed to film myself while I'm having sex to show that the pond train was on track and ready to go. However, there was a problem. How would I find a willing participant for bedroom gymnastics during the current smear campaign against me?
Jared Pond, I know about your problems. I can help you.
A raspy voice exclaimed. I turned towards the voice, and much to my dismay, it belonged to an ancient-looking South American shaman. I had a quick look at the 90-something woman. While filming a sex tape with her would prove my virility, it would also make me come across as a desperate creep, so it wouldn't rebuild my reputation. As much as I appreciate your concern, I'm not sure you can help me, I replied.
Yes, I can,
the female shaman said, and showed a toothless smile. Yuck. No, I am quite sure you cannot, I replied.
Yes, I can. This ancient pheromone potion of the Guane people can make you irresistible to any woman,
the shaman claimed. I took a deep breath of relief. I had feared that the old hag wanted to have sex with me, but as it turned out, she only wanted to sell me some superstitious snake oil. Okay, I accept your offer, miss, I asked.
Isabella Ruiz. I'm a shaman of the Guane people,
Isabella replied. Okay, so how much do you want for this potion of yours? I asked.
I'm old, and my days are numbered, so money is of no interest to me. I need you to do me a favor instead,
Isabella replied. Please don't ask for sex, I thought, and replied. So, what favor do you need?
The drug lord Andres Castro has a warehouse in Botany Bay that is full of stacks of cocaine. I want you to destroy his operation for what he did to one of our sacred temples,
Isabella revealed. Okay, why don't you tell the Australian Federal Police about the location? I asked.
Because all they will do is to confiscate the cocaine, and confiscating the cocaine won't stop Andres Castro from having his operations again. To stop him, we must destroy the demand for his product. To do that, I need you to contaminate the cocaine stored at that warehouse with a guane repellent potion, different than the one to make you irresistible. Once the cocaine has been doused with this repellent, anyone who uses the contaminated cocaine will be put off by it for the rest of their lives,
Isabella revealed. I pondered on Isabella's suggestion for a while. While I didn't believe in the superstitious guane medical potions, I did enjoy the prospect of getting in harm's way again. I had lived a safe and boring life for a while, and I needed some type of danger to live life to the fullest. I accept your mission, Miss Ruiz, I said.
Good. Here are 2 potions for you. The one I hold in my right hand is the potion that will make you irresistible. The one in my left hand will make people hate cocaine more than anything once you contaminate the batch. Please don't mix the potions up,
Isabella urged. Got it. Right is good, left is bad, I replied.
Yes, the warehouse is at 1600 Botany Road, Botany. Please avenge the destruction of our temple. You are the chosen one,
Isabella grunted. Yes, madam. I'll head there straight away, I said, grabbed the 2 vials, and left the casino. As I arrived at the warehouse in the middle of the night, I noticed that the place looked like any old warehouse. It was an ugly and plain building, and there were no gun-toting henchmen with submachine guns to be seen. In a way, this made sense. Having armed men guarding the building would attract neighbor complaints and police attention. It made a lot more sense for the warehouse to not be heavily guarded. I used a radio frequency generator, which I had since my employment with Raki, to override the electronic lock of the building. As I entered the warehouse, I scoped around and I found the cocaine stash hidden under a few bags of cement. I pulled out the vials of the Guane medical potions and had a terrible realization. I had forgotten which vial to use for contaminating the cocaine. The right one can't go wrong, I mumbled, and I poured the potion on cocaine stash. I was about to leave the warehouse, but something suddenly stopped me. I felt compelled to smell some of the fine powder that was packed and available to me. I snorted a line, and I felt like I was in heaven. If it weren't for the fact that Colombian criminals owned this warehouse, I would have stayed all night and finished off the entire stash by myself. I better get laid with the erection potion to prove that the pond train is still on track, I thought, left the warehouse, and took a self-driving cab back to the city, so I could find a willing lady at the nightclub to record my sex video with.
Eek! Go away, Jared! You reek of a dead mouse!
My trip to the nightclub took an unexpected turn when I arrived at the scene. It wasn't just the guards either. The patrons and everyone at the discotheque gave me dismissive looks and scrunched their noses and swore the hell out at me to leave the premises immediately. I realized that I would not do myself any favors by forcing an entry to the club, so I made one last-ditch attempt to have sex. I ordered a cab to the Morphine Skanky Hose brothel. This was where homeless people went to get a route when the Centrelink payment came in. Surely I couldn't fail to organize a route at such an establishment. As it turned out, I could. When I entered the premises, the jacked-up receptionist slurred.
Go home and bathe, Jared. You smell terrible.
I headed home in resignation and had a long bath with a lot of soap to scrub my stench away. As it turned out, it wasn't easy to get rid of the stench from the wrong potion, as my body had absorbed it down to the cells. To save my reputation and my fellow Sydneysiders from my horrid stench, I went on an extended survival training by myself in the wilderness. After 3 weeks, a group of helicopters arrived and surrounded me. The helicopters belonged to the Castro cartel, and I regretted that I hadn't brought my small but super effective pistol to fight off the criminals. The helicopters landed, and Andres Castro approached me while holding a copy of Girly Gossip magazine. The front page of the magazine read, "The stinking Jared Pond fails to organize a route in a homeless brothel." I sighed and replied, "Did you bring this magazine to humiliate me before you kill me?" Andres gave me a puzzled look and replied, "Why would I kill you, Mr. Pond? Whatever you did to our cocaine, it is better than ever. People are lining up outside our warehouse to get their hands on our merchandise. Even the police are lining up and paying for our cocaine. It's amazing." He laughed. "So why did you come here then?" I asked in confusion. "I came here to thank you and to introduce you to my sister," Andres said, turned to a beautiful woman with a hideous fake nose, and shouted, "Mariana, come here." Mariana approached me, smiled, and spoke.
Hello, Jared. It is so nice to finally meet you. Is the pond train ready for departure?
"Yes, but I must ask, why don't you mind my fiendish stench?" I asked.
Oh, my nose fell off due to my overuse of cocaine. I cannot smell anything with my prosthetic nose,"
Mariana revealed while winking at me seductively. I smiled awkwardly, while at the same time feeling a bit disgusted. However, apart from a fake prosthetic nose, Mariana was a stunner, and I was ready for many rounds of unbridled passion. And that's how I finally had sex with the sister of a Colombian drug lord, with his blessings. The end.